All right, 3 o'clock. Nice to have you with us. Tigers coronation tonight at 6:40. They get the Sox. They win. You're in. No, I don't want to worry about the Twins losing again, although they'll probably do that. I want to ask TJ one baseball question or one football before we get back to the Tigers. Because, again, Monday Night Football affords us the luxury. We can talk about the Lions Monday.
Yeah, that's
TJ,
a good point. I didn't realize that.
Frank Ragnow being gone.
Yeah.
You played the offensive line. You know what the center does. You know how important they are, and you know how damn good Frank is.
Yeah.
How am I wrong in thinking that's a massive loss for this team?
Man, I told you were wrong last week about Michigan running the
I'm not busting your balls.
And then you were right. So, no, but I don't think it's massive only because I think Graham Glasgow is a starting center in this league. I think he's an above-average starting guard, and I think he's an above-average starting center if he were to be a center. So, are you weaker at two positions? Probably, but I don't think by much. You're weaker at center, certainly. Frank's an all-pro guy, but I don't think it's a huge drop-off. And look, it sounds like Coyote Awosika is going to get the nod at left guard, and he started a lot of games. He started the NFC Championship game and played really, really good against San Francisco. So I think they have a capable starter there. Is it ideal? No. Is it your best five? No, it's not. But
yeah, he was good in the first half. The second half, they started to wear him down. But
a little bit. I mean, he got beat a couple times, but it wasn't a game where it's like, oh, man, if Jonah Jackson were in there, we would have won that game. Like, he did his job. You know what I mean? And I think he was solid. And I think that Ben Johnson talked this week and said, they made a point back in the offseason to, I think he said, pound the table to get Graham Glasgow back, not only because he's an above-average guard, but he can play multiple positions. And if anything happens to Frank, I'm not looking at my notes.
What do you have, a trapper keeper?
I was trying to find out the...
He's got graph paper. He's back in math class. Look at this. What is that?
Here's the thing. Seattle's defensive front, I don't think is great by any means. They're not San Fran. They're not Dallas. They're not any of these, Baltimore, any of these other teams that, you got to look at and say, oh, man, they got a D-tackle. We got a double team the entire time. So this week, I think they're going to be okay. Which is why it gives me confidence, and I kind of teased at it, during the prop bet casino. I think the Lions are going to win big, but it's certainly a big loss. But I think Graham has enough experience at that position to where you shouldn't necessarily take a gigantic step back. And he's smart too. Graham is a smart guy. He's able to make all the calls. He's able to do everything that Frank does when it comes to the mental side of the game. Physically, is he as good as Frank? No, but that's not a knock against Graham. There aren't many. There might be one center in the league that might be better than Frank, right? But no, I think they'll be just fine.
So no fall off like you saw in Philly when Kelsey left?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be an entire different offense, and we got to change everything because we're missing our center. The challenge is going to be communicating. I think anytime you have shuffling parts where, okay, now I got a new center and a new guard, that affects the left tackle. That affects the right guard, right? How many reps has Kevin Zeitler got with Graham Glasgow at center on some double teams or some, pass protections or passing off stunts? Probably not many. So you might need to kind of expedite that chemistry when it comes to those guys. And Taylor Decker, how many times has he practiced this year, next to Awosika? Who knows, right? So you're going to kind of have to just go in there with the trust that, okay, this guy's played a lot of football, right? He played a lot of snaps last year. He's played, whether it's 5-6 years ago, he's got the reps there. He's proven that he can be effective at this position. We just got to go out there and trust each other. And I do think it definitely helps being at home, too. I think when you're playing with a backup center and backup lineman on the road, it's incredibly difficult because the communication is very limited. You're on silent count. You can't listen to the quarterback, right? But when you're at home, you have an advantage, right? You can talk more. You can communicate more. You can get on the same page. So that's why I don't think it's going to be a massive loss. I think they're certainly going to feel it a little bit because that's just the type of player that Frank is. You're missing an all-pro guy. Of course you're going to feel it. But I think they're going to be just fine.
I have a question. Now, this is loosely baseball. I need you to put your trapper keeper away. We need to have a conversation with me, you, and Kenny.
It's a notebook.
It's like graph paper. I felt like you were in math class. Here's what I'd like to know. How much damage would you do on a personal level and a marital level if we could get you to bail on this youth sports you don't want to be in, and you and Kenny go to the game tonight?
Tonight?
Yeah, tonight.
I have to go with Kenny?
Yes, that is a part of the deal.
Oh, them's fighting words.
I would,
Because there
you
was
know
a
what?
reason.
I think Kenny. I would love to see Kenny in his element.
Well, that's
I've
why
never
I
seen
was-
him outside this
But
building.
that's why I was asking.
I would love to see Kenny in his element.
I would love to see TJ in his element.
It would be
what-
worth a couple of apologies.
I think
What
so.
And a couple
type-
dinner dates.
What
I think
type
so.
of damage could the two of you do if you were sitting there, 9-inning baseball game, no responsibilities, and you have a driver for the night?
Okay.
So neither of you are going to do something stupid. But Kenny versus TJ, how many beers in a 9-inning game? Tigers clinching a playoff spot tonight. You escape the hell that is youth sports that you
Okay.
have no interest in.
We're just
going
going
to.
at it. We're letting loose.
And yes, it's fun, TJ, the guy who died. I want to
I
know.
told you I'm still fun from the hours of 8 a.m. to 3 p.m.
The point is, Kenny and you.
Not my fault. All my friends work.
TJ is gonna start getting into model trains.
All my friends are at work. All right, now listen.
What do you mean you can't golf on Wednesday at 7:40 in the morning?
I have
Come on.
jobs. I got bills to pay, man.
Hey, Bobby, what are you
right.
doing? I'm working.
All right, I think
in a
to
meeting
answer
right
your question, I'd never seen Kenny in his element. I'd say I'm a -6.5.
It's a contest. I thought we were just partying.
I would say, but I would still say I'd give myself a -6.5.
You're
cup
laying
advantage.
6.5 beers.
I don't know if I could keep up with TJ, but I could definitely cover this spread.
You think
I'm
you
in the
could-
ballpark.
You could stay within a
Buddy,
touchdown.
I'm retired.
Yeah, I know that. That's why I say that. Your fighting days are behind you. I'm in my
I got
prime
nothing
right
to
now.
do most mornings.
I'm knocking dingers, man.
On a number basis. Now, picture it. You're at the ballpark tonight. It's going to be 75. It's not going to be
Beautiful
but it's good enough, right?
Gosh, man, you're making me jealous.
Dude, it's simple. Why don't you just put your foot down and go, I'm not going to this stupid hockey game. I'm going to watch the Tigers make the playoffs. So the point I'm making is, how many beers would it be? Is it one per inning for you?
Easily.
Okay, so is it
easy?
Is it 1.5 per inning? You're like Wade Boggs. If you've never, Rico, have you heard the Wade Boggs story?
Yeah.
All right.
On the plane? Yeah.
This is inflated Boggs right here.
I
You've
mean,
never seen anything like this cat.
I'm no Andre the Giant, but I
No,
would
but you're not
say
8 feet tall.
An inning lasts what? Probably 15, 20 minutes?
It's
No,
a
20
Tigers game
minutes
we're
is
talking about,
yeah.
though, so they go quick.
On a day like today where you feel like it's going to be a big celebration by 9:30, call it, I'd probably go 2 per inning. Yeah.
Yeah. One
Yeah,
at the top, one at the
think
bottom.
so.
Yep, I'm with you. I'd probably be right there with you till maybe like the 6th or 7th, then I slow
And
down
that's
to
where
1.5.
that's where the 6.5 comes into play.
There you go.
I pull away in the 8th and the 9th inning.
I think I keep it close
Kenny
for
slows
long
down.
enough.
What would we have to do to make this happen tonight? Seriously, how much damage would it do if you skipped one youth game?
Oh, yeah, a lot. Yeah.
A lot?
Yeah. it's
How
not
bad?
happening.
How bad? I mean, let's be real.
Well, what do we got to do to make you leave work early, and we'll take you with us, so you
I
can
can
be
go-
our judge keep. You can be our
Listen,
judge.
my dream is
Scorekeeper.
quitting. What do you want to do?
If you come, Mike, if you're there with
doing
us,
you a favor?
we'll pound beers.
I think you two would be the perfect pairing for a Friday night baseball game.
It sounds like a fun buddy cop movie.
It is.
I'm into it.
You're Kevin Hart and he's The Rock. But it's still like, like, no, it would just you two because your love of beer, your love of alcohol,
And baseball.
and Detroit, and just I could see this being reality TV tonight if we could park them both at the game.
You know what? Can we? There's no guarantee, but if there is a playoff game in Detroit, can we make it happen?
I would make that happen for you. Yes,
Okay.
I'll provide the driver, whatever you need. Rico's got a
You
helicopter.
got the bill covered?
I can take care of that.
Okay.
In order to get
Kenny,
content for
I'm
the
in.
show.
I'm in.
Rico, do you know the content this would provide? Do you understand?
I
We'd
understand.
have these two
Live
on
stream it?
have a wireless in the stadium.
Right, Mike, but probably after beer number 4, we can't use it. You can use it on the pod. We can't use the content
You might
anymore.
not be able to use it on the pod either. Roberts.
Right.
Jack players.
TJ starts telling how he really feels about people. Kenny was like, I agree.
Oh, come
I've
on.
been trying to say the same thing to David and Rico all of this time.
You know, Gov has some good points.
Right.
I was right. Good Lord.
I'll tell you something, Kenny. David doesn't know how hard it is to be white.
It's hard out here in the streets.
You always had the best ideas.
You know what, Kenny? I love you, man.
That's how I see it playing out. And then the Tigers clinch the playoff berth. It would be unbelievable. Serious note.
We're going to get, okay.
How much trouble would you get in if you just said, I'm not going to the thing tonight? I got a thing to do.
A lot.
Define a lot, though.
I don't want to. I don't even want to imagine.
Oh, my.
You know what, Mike? I think what he's trying to say is
different locations.
the next thing that you would hear is tonight. Mike!
I got you, brother. No problem.
You got a spare bed?
Yeah, I got you
For
covered.
like a month?
I was about to say,
Potentially.
like TJ,
Potentially.
that's a lot of
eternity?
luggage.
Yeah,
that we're
because
bringing
again,
in.
it's all content. It'd be incredible.
Now that would be the buddy cop
you?
movie.
Come on.
TJ moves in. Oh yeah,
It'd be amazing.
Chronicles of TJ.
Can I bring the kids with me?
Absolutely not.
One of them.
Yes.
Depends on which one.
Negotiating now.
No,
I love
no,
it.
no, and I'm not going to
Look
say.
at that. Hey,
No,
David,
and I'm
TJ
not
has a
going to
good
say.
side, too.
No, I'm not
wanna
going
know
to say his
price?
kids' names on the air, but one of his kids is an absolute gentleman, and I absolutely think that's possible.
Okay.
We could do that.
No, not
But
him.
you make fun of
Because
me
you'd have
when
to
I
get
tell
punished too.
you make fun of me when I say David has one kid like that. That it's like, you know what? That
The
kid's gonna grow up
difference is
and
I
be
can't
something.
keep track of the amount of kids he has. We got the Cromartie of radio. I know he's
what,
got 3
Michael?
kids.
That's the price. You've got to take my kids to the next month of hockey events.
Absolutely
That's
not.
the price.
Your life, you've already told me your life's a living
So you
hell.
told me
I'm
it's
not going to assume
then
that.
it's not worth it. If it's not worth it for you, it's not
You
worth
got
it
to take
for
them
me.
from now until.
Thanksgiving. All right. We will get to the phone calls. We have to talk more Tigers. TJ, I'm so sorry. My God. Sounds like things are going great.
It's called being a parent, Michael.
I know, and it sounds awful.
What, David?
TJ.
Back there, what? Can you back me up just one time, David?
David's absentee.
Oh, sure.
He just, you know what excuse he uses? Oh, yeah, I got this thing at the church.
I got a meeting.
Hey.
God told me I didn't have to do this.
Read something.
Read your paper.
I know, because I know the second I start to read something, he's going to do something stupid. I know it is bad.
Read your paper.